Bidens deny any physical intercept took place. Either way, the drones spiraled down into the Black Sea, and the incident worries analysts like Daniel Davis, former lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army, now with the American think tank Defense Priorities.
When you have a situation like where we are helping Ukraine, with so many things, and not just with tanks and artillery pieces and our armored personnel carriers, but with intelligence and targeting intelligence. And of course, Russia knows this. They're not going to be, thinking too kindly of that. And the question is this going to be the only one? There's some reason why? Or is this something that maybe now Russia's getting a little bit frisky? They finally may be saying, hey, we're going to start pushing back too on the margins. And my worry is that they do something like that, and maybe next time it's something a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more provocative. This is the kind of thing that can trigger the direct clash between the West and Russia that could expand this beyond the borders of Ukraine. And that, I think, is something we have to pay a lot more attention to than we have.
The incident has certainly only deepened tensions between Washington and Moscow. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
And a reminder now of the hour's top story. Credit Suisse has secured a lifeline from the Swiss Central Bank. It will borrow up to $54 billion to boost liquidity and investor confidence after a slump in its shares sparked fears about a global financial crisis. And that's the latest world news from Feature Story News. I'm Nina Maria Potts reporting.
Welcome to 2023 Talks, where we're following our democracy in historic times.
This president has put it in black and white.
Hey, Chuck, my mouse just died. I got to go get a battery.
Okay,
at least it didn't die in the middle of the show.
No.
White House Budget Director Shalonda Young testified before the Senate Budget Committee Wednesday to defend President Joe Biden's 2024 spending plan. Republicans claim the $6.9 trillion budget will eliminate jobs and add to the national debt. GOP lawmakers are refusing to raise the nation's debt unless Democrats agree to hefty spending cuts. Senator Mitt Romney grilled Young over Biden's recent statements about Republicans floating cuts to Social Security.
I really do find that just offensive in the extreme, which is you can't name anyone who is proposing Social Security benefits. I know my colleagues. No one is proposing cutting Social Security benefits for our Social Security recipients.
Senate Republican Whip John Thune and his GOP colleagues are seeking answers from federal regulators over the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. He alleges they were asleep at the switch and should have spotted indicators of the bank's impending failure.
This clearly, if you look at the particular circumstances around this incident, should have been anticipated.
During his visit to Las Vegas Wednesday, President Joe Biden highlighted his administration's efforts to lower prescription drug costs and took aim at Republicans who he said want to cut benefits.
Let's finish the job. Let's protect the lower prescription drug costs for everyone. Let's expand health care for more people and to get care. Let's keep building the economy from the middle out and the bottom up.
Border officials testified before GOP members of the House Homeland Security Committee in McAllen, Texas, on the ongoing crisis. Chair Mark Green called out his Democratic committee colleagues who were absent from the hearing and heavily criticized President Biden and Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas's border policies.
It's clear to me, in violation to the laws written by the United States Congress, passed and signed by previous presidents, this Secretary of DHS wants nothing more than to flood the country with people.
Finally, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg spoke at a safety summit hosted by the Federal Aviation Administration and said he's concerned about the uptick in airline close calls, including one last month in Austin, Texas, where a cargo plane came within feet of landing on.
Remains an exceptionally safe way to travel. We have seen an uptick in one-way incursions and close calls, something that we are not going to allow to turn into something worse.
I'm Alex Gonzalez for Pacific Network and Public News Service. Find our interest indicators to support transparency and accuracy at publicnewsservice.org.
I'm Dan. I'm TL, and we're from Blue Sway Connection.
And we're excited to
Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7. Finally getting started. We had some technical difficulties. If you were listening online, you probably heard that my mouse died right as we were about to go live. That's a problem with those non-hardwired mouses. Hey, Chuck, I think your microphone is muted. Are you with us today? I am with you. It was muted. All right, all right. Oh, no, no. Hey, we might be having some technical difficulties as far as you hearing. Once I replugged in this hardwired mouse, it looks like we might have lost some sound because I am not picking you up. Let's try a little applause. And yeah, we are not going throughout over the internet. We're going to go back to break. I'm really sorry about this, and reset my computer and come back with this morning's show, just because we can't seem to get everything to flow all the way from Maine to Chihuahua. So stay with us. We will be back. It's KCHW 102.7.